One of the topics that is really important to have discussions with clients, and probably one of the most either confusing or uncomfortable, is how do I pick life insurance? I have friends and business owners and longtime clients that come into me and sometimes say, hey, I'm embarrassed to ask because I'm at this point and I don't have any coverage, or I just don't understand the coverage. So where do I go? What does all of this mean? Some people have done some research and they're fairly savvy on it. Some people are brand new or have policies and don't know if they picked the right ones. So I'm going to give you just a brief overview today of what the types are and kind of where to start. So in life insurance, we've got three main categories that I walk clients through of basic coverage. And that first one's going to be the one most people are familiar with, which is term life insurance. This is the simplest, the easiest, the cheapest policy that you're going to get. This is literally based on age and health, nothing else, and the period of time that you want to have it, which could be a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year policy. Depending on how old you are, is also going to depend on how long of a term you're allowed to get. So in life insurance, it's really important. You'll probably hear me say it a couple of times. You're rated on age and health. I can never make you younger. Sometimes we get healthier, but these are things that we can't control. So it's important and beneficial financially to start these as early as possible. So when we look at coverage, that term policy, again, it's going to be the most basic that's going to really cover the gaps. This is often used for people who are growing their assets, their businesses, or their families. This gives you a lot of coverage and it can be layered in with some of the other policies. The other two types that we're going to talk about are in the category called permanent coverage, and that's going to be something that doesn't go away. So where term has an expiration date, and if you can keep it, it gets more expensive. The other two are your policies locked in for life. So one of them you hear a lot is going to be the second term or second type of coverage here, whole life coverage. This is your kind of basic policy. There's not a lot of bells and whistles to it. You're paying mainly for that coverage of a certain amount that you want to keep, but it's going to be for life. This is a long-term policy that as long as we pay those premiums, you're going to get that benefit back to your family. In some cases, there might be a little bit of cash accumulation or a little bit of value that comes with it. And in other policies, there may not be, but these are basically meant to be a secure long-term payout to a family member. This is going to be usually a smaller death benefit for most people than the term coverage and be a little bit more expensive because it's meant to last throughout your lifetime and be essentially a guaranteed payout. So the third option that we have is one of the most popular and more beneficial in our agency because it has so much flexibility, and that's going to be a policy that actually allows you to grow cash and accumulate extra funds. These are used for anything you can think of. People use it for retirement income. You might use a lump sum to pull out for a wedding or to purchase property or start a business. They really have all the flexibility. As long as you keep your life insurance plan intact, you have access to this funding. These are set up through policies called IULs, which are Index Universal Life, or VULs, Variable Universal Life. You might see some various policies out there with those interchanged. They do operate a little bit differently, so your agents can talk to you about the benefits of each one. Typically, we work with a lot of people on IULs because they are protected and they don't lose any of the gains that you have in those policies so that your income is always growing. There are policies out there that might have a little highest interest opportunity, but they also might allow you to lose money in those accounts as well, similar to your retirement plans. So there are some different structures, but the benefit of either of these plans is the access to grow cash tax-free. And these are going to be something that you can use as a living benefit, which again, is that going to be for a new house, starting your business, or do we want to set up a plan to get you some retirement income and maybe offset that 401k that might have higher taxes in the future? So a lot of options to look at in this category, which is why it's been so popular with business owners as well as individuals in there. We can set them up for you as an individual person and a family member. We can also set it up for a business owner and their employees to set up for retirement. So one of the important options there, if we are in a spot that we can't choose and we want all of the options, some of the options, what I always work with my clients on is let's start with term. It's the easiest to get you approved. It allows flexibility, at least in our agency here, to convert in the first 20 years. So you've got some time. I advise doing it much sooner than later, but you have some time. If we get the term policy in place, what that does for you is it locks in the current age, so we're keeping our premiums lower, but it's most important for that health rating. I've got clients and friends who have, unfortunately, early in life, gotten small conditions that might affect mainly rate, or some bigger conditions that would make them ineligible for basically all life policies or all policies that they would want to get. And these can be things like diabetes. For a lot of people, it's anxiety. They maybe didn't take anything over the years and then later in life had to start taking 1 or 2 medications, or maybe adult ADHD. There are numerous different conditions out there that might not be life-threatening, but they might make your premiums go higher. So anything that we can do to start these policies early is going to protect that rate class, which means in the future, if we convert, then you're converting at that better rate class. So it's now and later going to make your policies and your insurance costs the lowest it can be. Again, age is always helpful, so the earlier we start either side is beneficial. There are some other conditions out there, cancers that people survive that can make them uninsurable. So for all reasons, I highly recommend, if we're not ready for the IUL or the whole life policy, but we want them, let's get that term going, and then let's just convert it here and work slowly through exactly what we want to put into those plans. We get a lot of questions in the agency. We are definitely going to have some future videos here on some basic how-tos and information. One of the best ways, though, to understand any of these plans is just to see it live, tailored for you. We do very easy explanations over Zoom as well that is tailored to your age, what kind of income we want to put inside these policies, and we can actually give you a live, very quick view so you can see how the plans work. And then we can decide when we want to put in either those term or IUL applications. So either give us a quick call today or stay tuned for future videos.